All right. Hopefully you went and you got yourself a nice Diet Coke and a burrito, and you're ready to watch another 5-minute video. I'm intentionally keeping these videos short in hopes that you'll actually watch them. And I figured I can't put out an hour video because I'm not Joe Rogan or Jim Gaffigan or somebody. So I'll try to keep these short and impactful and not yak. So in the spirit of not yakking, let's talk about break even. So in the Keynesian construct, what Keynes did is he talked about total production and total expenditure, right? And those are exactly what they sound like. Total production is aggregated production, and total expenditure is aggregated expenditure. What is spent on, by consumers, right? Or by ultimately it could be all three sectors of the economy, but right now we're just talking about consumers. All right, so there's really three conditions then that can exist if you think about it, right? And the first one is where your total expenditures are greater than your total production, right? So think about that for a minute. If total expenditures, if the spending, consumption spending by households, investment spending by firms, government spending, if that's greater than production, what's going to happen to production? Production is going to go up, right? Because there's more being spent, right? So what are firms going to do? They're going to add shifts. They're going to hire people. Production goes up. Unemployment goes down, right? That's what happens in that condition. Well, what about this condition where your total expenditure is less than your total production? Well, if all of those sectors are spending less, then what happens? Stock inventories rise, production drops off, maybe there's layoffs and et cetera, or a shift is canceled from the factory or whatever. And then of course the ideal situation is where your total expenditures equal your total production. And that's what equilibrium, that's what we're looking at there. So if I get rid of this for a sec, another way of understanding total production, right, is that, and I went over this briefly in class, so go back and look at your notes, but we can let that be income, and then expenditure, in this case, is consumption, really for just a one-sector economy. If we add in the business sector, then we add in investment spending. So what is key is understanding that equilibrium and where your income equals your consumption. So if this is the case we're looking for, and all we do is we substitute consumption plus investment for our total expenditure. And then on this side, we just substitute income for our total production. Then that's the equilibrium point for the economy, and that's where the most efficient and effective output for the economy is. So how would we do that? How would we figure? I'm just going to redraw this. Well, if I give you a certain set of circumstances, right? So if I give you, say, consumption at, I'm looking at my notes. Consumption is, your consumption function has an autonomous consumption of 200, marginal propensity consume of 0.9, and then income. And then we have investment at, say, 800. How are we going to do that? Well, literally, you're just going to substitute, this C right here, you're just going to substitute this portion right here for right there, and substitute that for that. Make sense? So what's that become? Y equals, substitute that, 200 plus 0.9 Y plus I, which is 800. Right? Okay, now it's just a matter of solving for y. So y equals 800 plus 200 is 1,000 plus 0.9 y. If I do negative 0.9 y on this side, then I got to do the same thing on this side, so that's y minus 0.9 y. And that becomes 1,000. And then I just take the y out. So if I take the y out, y divided by y is 1 minus 0.9 equals 1,000. And then y 0.1 thousand, and y equals 10,000. And there you go. There's our equilibrium. What did we just calculate? We just calculated, if I translate this to that aggregate demand, aggregate supply model, then this economy in the short run is producing a level of GDP equal to 10,000. That's what you're